Unanswered questions surround South Korea's deadliest aviation disaster. The crash of Jeju Air Flight 231 at Muin International Airport, which claimed 179 lives, has raised numerous questions about safety standards, emergency response, and government accountability. On December 27, Jeju Air Flight 231, a Boeing 737-800, skidded off the runway at Muin International Airport, bursting into flames after attempting a belly landing. Video footage from MBC revealed that the aircraft did not deploy its landing gear, causing it to slide across the tarmac and crash into a concrete barrier at the runway's edge. Initial reports suggest the aircraft experienced engine failure after colliding with a flock of birds during its approach. Witnesses reported seeing the right engine emitting flames before the pilot attempted to abort the landing and circle back for another attempt. Despite warnings about bird strikes, aviation experts argue that such collisions rarely result in catastrophic failure. The incident has prompted scrutiny of the aircraft systems and the airline's maintenance protocols. The crash has raised critical questions about the technical failures that led to the inability to deploy the landing gear. Aviation safety expert Jeffrey Dell remarked, "While bird strikes are common, it's highly unusual for them to cause complete landing gear failure." The investigation has also focused on the decisions made by the flight crew. Experts are examining why the pilot attempted a belly landing instead of diverting to another airport or requesting immediate emergency assistance. The response from emergency services has come under significant scrutiny. Critics have questioned why fire crews were not prepositioned to mitigate the risk of a fire during the emergency landing. Footage from the scene shows delayed deployment of firefighting foam, which could have reduced the intensity of the flames. Emergency teams must be ready to act immediately when an incident like this occurs, said Trevor Jensen, an aviation safety consultant. The lack of preparedness is alarming. Additionally, the presence of a concrete barrier at the end of the runway has been criticized as a design flaw. Experts argue that such structures can exacerbate damage during runway overruns, calling for a review of airport safety standards. Investigators are also probing Jeju Air's maintenance practices and regulatory oversight. The aircraft's flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder have been recovered and are expected to provide critical insights into the events leading up to the crash. "We need to understand whether this was a one-off failure or indicative of systemic issues within the airline," said Ju Jong-won, an aviation policy director at South Korea's Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transport. The crash has dealt a severe blow to South Korea's aviation industry, which has long prided itself on its safety record. The incident has prompted calls for stricter regulations and enhanced training for flight crews and emergency responders. The tragedy also threatens to undermine public confidence in air travel. Incidents like this erode trust and make passengers question whether airlines and authorities are doing enough to ensure their safety, said aviation analyst Gregory Allegi. As investigations continue, families of the victims are demanding accountability and transparency. Lawmakers have called for a comprehensive review of aviation safety protocols, including bird strike prevention measures, runway designs, and emergency response procedures. The South Korean government has pledged to implement necessary reforms to prevent similar tragedies. "We must honor the memory of those lost by ensuring this never happens again," said interim leader Choi Sang-mok. The Jeju Air tragedy has left a deep scar on South Korea, serving as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance, accountability, and preparedness in the aviation industry. The answers uncovered in the investigation will not only determine responsibility but also shape the future of aviation safety in the nation.